The Little Mermaid's Sacrifice. Under the warm, sunlit surface of the ocean lived Sirena. While her sisters played in the coral gardens, Sirena dreamed of the world above. Her grandmother often told her stories of the humans, creatures with no tails who walked on dry land. Today was her 15th birthday, the day she was finally allowed to swim up and see the sky. Sirena swam faster than ever before. When she broke the surface, the warm sunset filled her eyes with golden light. Not far away, a large wooden ship was sailing gently. On the deck stood Prince Arthur. He was celebrating his own birthday. Sirena hid behind a small rock, completely fascinated by his warm smile and kind eyes. But the calm sky quickly turned angry. A sudden storm shattered the ship against the sharp coastal rocks. Sirena saw the prince fall into the dark, freezing water. Without thinking, she dove into the chaos. She found him sinking, his eyes closed. Grabbing his arms tightly, she swam with all her strength to bring him back to the surface. Sirena pulled Arthur onto a quiet, sandy beach just as dawn broke. He was breathing, but she could not stay. Hearing footsteps, she slipped into the water and hid. A young girl named Elara found the prince. When Arthur finally opened his eyes, he saw Elara and smiled, believing she had saved him. Sirena watched, her heart quietly breaking. Sirena could not forget him. She knew that to be with Arthur, she needed a human life. Ignoring her grandmother's warnings, she swam into the deepest, coldest part of the ocean. The colorful coral faded into sharp rocks and twisting, shadowy seaweed. This was the home of the Sea Witch, a dangerous place no mermaid ever dared to visit. Coralia the Sea Witch smiled, her dark tentacles swirling in the water. She offered a glowing potion to grant Sirena legs, but the price was terrible. Sirena would lose her beautiful voice, and every step on land would feel like sharp glass. If Arthur married another, she would turn to sea foam. With trembling hands, Sirena bravely nodded. Sirena swam to the surface one last time. She dragged herself onto the warm sand just outside Prince Arthur's coastal castle. Holding the glass shell, she looked back at the ocean, saying a silent goodbye to her family. Then, she drank the glowing pink potion. A sudden, sharp pain rushed through her body, and she collapsed into a deep sleep on the beach. The warm morning sun woke her up. Standing above her was the boy she had saved, Prince Arthur. He kindly asked who she was and where she came from. Sirena opened her mouth to answer, but no sound came out. She looked down and saw 2 human legs instead of her tail. Arthur gently wrapped his jacket around her shivering shoulders. Arthur led her to his home. Just as the witch warned, every step on the hard stone felt like walking on sharp glass. Yet Sirena smiled bravely, never letting the pain show. The castle workers dressed her in a beautiful woven dress. Although she could not speak, her graceful movements and expressive eyes immediately charmed everyone, especially the kind prince. Days turned into weeks. Sirena became Arthur's closest companion. They rode horses through the forest and walked along the beach. In the evenings, she would dance for him. Even though every jump sent sharp pain through her legs, she moved perfectly. Arthur always clapped the loudest, loving her like a dear sister. But his heart still belonged to his mysterious savior. One evening, Arthur showed Sirena a letter. His parents wanted him to meet a princess from a neighboring kingdom. He told Sirena he would never marry a stranger because he only loved the girl from the beach who saved his life. Sirena's eyes filled with tears. She wanted to scream that she was that girl, but she remained completely silent. They sailed to the neighboring kingdom the next day. When the doors of the White Palace opened, Arthur froze. The princess walking toward them was Ilara, the girl he saw when he woke up on the sand. Arthur was so happy he ran to hug her, completely unaware of the truth. Sirena watched from behind, feeling her heart shatter. The royal wedding took place on a grand, beautiful ship as the sun began to set. Arthur was filled with joy, holding Ilara's hand tightly. Sirena stood quietly in the background, her heart heavy but full of love. She knew this was her last night. When the sun rose tomorrow, she would become sea foam forever. Later that night, while the entire ship slept, Sirena stood alone, looking down at the dark water. Suddenly, her older sisters rose from the gentle waves. Sirena gasped silently. Their beautiful long hair was completely gone. They had traded it to the sea witch for a glowing, sharp knife, begging Sirena to save her own life. Sirena walked quietly into the royal cabin. Arthur was sleeping peacefully, completely unaware of the danger. She held the glowing knife tightly, her hands. If she used it, she could return to the ocean and her family. But as she looked at his kind, familiar face, her deep love for him proved stronger than her fear. Sirena walked back out to the edge of the ship. The sky was just beginning to turn a soft pink. With a final, heavy breath, she threw the glowing knife far into the dark waves. She watched it sink, accepting her tragic but peaceful fate. She would rather turn to sea foam than harm the boy she loved. As the bright sun peeked over the horizon, Sirena let herself fall from the ship into the cool water. She expected the dark end the witch had promised. But as she touched the waves, she did not disappear into nothing. Instead, her body dissolved into thousands of warm, sparkling, floating lights, rising gently into the bright morning sky. Sirena was not gone. She had become a spirit of the air, rewarded for her pure, selfless heart. She floated above the ship, feeling lighter and happier than she ever had underwater or on land. Below, Arthur and Ilara stood at the edge, staring at the sparkling foam on the waves, feeling a strange but comforting peace. The older spirits welcomed Sirena with warm, glowing smiles. They explained that because she had sacrificed her own life out of pure love, she was given a second chance. She would travel the world, bringing cool breezes to hot days and guiding lost ships safely home. By doing good deeds for others, she would eventually earn a true human soul. Sirena looked down at the vibrant world below. She saw children playing on the sandy beach and fishermen returning safely to their families. With a joyful spin, she sent a warm, fragrant breeze over the village. She no longer felt sadness or pain. she had finally found her true place, forever watching over the human world and the deep blue sea.